It's Fusion Radio with Brian and Keys, man. Always excited to share our weekends with you, man. Celebrate some dope people on this platform that we call Fusion Radio, man. So we got two great people in the building, man. One is the creator of Rave Wars Chicago, and then the other one is part of the Slasher Gang, man. Producer, hip hop artist, audio engineer. He goes by the name of The Third. And so excited about having both of you brothers in here, man. You're definitely, man, collabing on this really dope event. It's coming up in 2025. Definitely excited about getting into it with that. So I want to start with Ivan, man, the creator of Rave Wars Chicago, man. Talk to us about what inspired you to create Rave Wars Chicago, and then what is actually Rave Wars Chicago?
Well, first of all, thank you. Thank you so much for having us in this platform, man. It's truly an honor, and actually we're really grateful for it because, to be fair, getting out here and getting our platform out there is it's not easy. It can get very complicated, especially when trying to grow something from scratch. So, I mean, thankful for you guys, actually. But, okay, so origin of Rave Wars. So, man, it's quite a tale to tell, to be fair, because it all started last year. Actually, not just kidding, not even last year, but Rave Wars has only been around for like 6 to 7 months, to be fair, and we already had a solid 5 events, which has been quite honestly a great feat for all of us. And well, what came about actually is more so of a tale of two brothers who hadn't seen each other for 15 years, and we just reunited just last year, October. We got together and we're like, hey, it's been so long. What do we got to do something, man. It's been quite a while in which we haven't seen each other. And we're like, well, what about music? Music seems like a great avenue. And to be fair, music has always been around for us, mainly in terms of the way we grew up and things that happened. And we connected through music a lot. So we decided to form a band. So I learned the drums, he did the vocals, and we picked up 2 of our buddies and we said, let's go form a band, come to the Chicago band and see if we can find somewhere to play. But amongst that, dude, we had noticed actually that most of these artists, especially bands, have been playing mainly to like 10 to 15 people on their local bars, venues. So we had a consistency of seeing that everywhere. And we're like, well, what's going on here? So we noticed that, man, it's kind of hard for people to put their craft out there if not a lot of people are coming to see it. So what we've set out to do is essentially create our own community and create our own space in which we can put our platform, have a platform for us to put our music in. And not only ourselves, but then provide it to others. Because to be fair, my brother and I also had this thing where we didn't really have that many opportunities growing up. So we're like, okay, well, we got this opportunity to give a platform to others. So how about we, as an ode to ourselves, we can also do that for others. So that came about Rave Wars. And essentially what we came about with Rave Wars is we combined a love of music and a love for, pretty sure y'all are familiar with WWE, you know, of course. You know how WWE has the showmanship. You got your characters who throw some great promos. I mean, who can forget The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, 316, obviously.
For sure.
So we combined that, and essentially what it turned out to be is a competition, a year-round competition in which we have artists come through in the qualifier rounds. And in these qualifier rounds, we have them perform 4 to 5 songs max. And for the DJs themselves, we give them around a set of 30 minutes. And that normally, at the end of the night, we have the crowd vote for who they want to see next at the main event show. So at these main event shows, the qualifying artists battle it out. The winner then qualifies to our end of year show, which is what we're promoting, Battle for Glory, in January 4th, And at the end of the year, of course, winners get a cash prize, winners potluck, of course. And yeah, man, I feel like it's a great opportunity for many artists to put their work out there. And it's a great opportunity for us to build the community for the Chicagoland industry. I mean, it'd be great to have something like this. I think our inspiration came from looking at other creative platforms. Like, we noticed Redline Chicago. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that as well. We noticed that and we're like, okay, what if we do something like that for talented artists? I mean, because we've seen, like I said, we noticed these artists out there in these open mic nights, and we thought, man, you guys are really great, but there's not a lot of people. So how about we create that platform and we give that to the other people? because we're not just going to hold it for ourselves. We also want others to benefit from it. So that's how it came about, and that's essentially how you can find us at Rave Wars, particularly. So, like I said, we had initially started for bands, rappers, DJs, but now it's just turned into a platform for rappers and DJs, simply because bands can be a bit of it can be hard, especially when we ran our shows out here in Logan Square, and oftentimes when you're doing it on your own, you kind of have to figure out the sound system, and you got to figure out all these other trinkets, like who's mixing this stuff and for you. And to be fair, it's just myself and my brother who are running these things on our own. I mean, I kind of double down as the graphic designer, sometimes video editing, sometimes even spending some hours just trying to print these flyers out so we can get them all out quickly. And honestly, when you come from very little resources, you kind of have to figure out ways in which you can potentially get these things rolling. So a lot of the times, the venues that we work with have given us a real great deal by us offering to do videos for them. Most notably for us, it was we did a show in Logan Square for it was a fashion store, and we said, what if we do a video for you promoting your thing? And they're like, all right, sweet, let's run it. We can lend you our space. And we went in, we pulled off a great show, and it was phenomenal. And that's kind of how we've been going about with other venues, to see utilizing our best resources, which is communicating with people, trying to build a rapport with people, and giving ourselves that platform so we can then give that opportunity to the artists who are looking for that platform to be able to put their craft out there.
So how did you eventually get to the point where you wanted to make it like, I wouldn't necessarily say like a series, but not just like a one-time out of the year thing, or like something that you did like you doing it all throughout the year. So how did it get to that point?
Well, ideally, the first one came about meeting a DJ, and we saw that, there was a want for entertainment, of course, and as I said, we kind of borrowed the overall showmanship from WWE and the quality of performances that is within that, and we wanted to create a spectacle. So what came about then was like, okay, well, if we can pull off one show, what if we try another one? And the other one did decently well. It went well, and we had great reception. People loved it. People enjoyed it. And I mean, to be fair, personally, it was amazing. I have a great time building these projects, being a creative myself as well, in terms of creating the posters, having a chance to work with other creatives. So we've met other people through these avenues. So we met artists like Theo himself. We met not just artists themselves, but we met videographers who came through and were like, hey, we like what you have here. We can come through and record for you. So we said, okay, well, it seems like it's growing into something. We want to potentially keep growing it and keep giving it some more fire, feed it into it. And essentially, it's just been the feedback that has been growing. A lot of people have reached out to us and wanted to work with us. So we had a young videographer who came and recorded some of our events for us. And we're like, okay, that's perfect. What else can we get? And we've had other artists who have helped us out with even mixing the sound for us, so we can get, properly sounding music, of course. So I think it was just a matter of like the snowball effect of it from the first show. People were receptive to it. I think our first show was also very successful in the fact that we had a pop-up shop there as well, by a very good friend of mine. So it was a matter of the networking and a matter of the resources that we had, and essentially being able to continuously pull off these shows. And we're like, okay, what if we build it into a bigger platform? What if we scale it up a bit more, and see how things roll? And thus far, everything's been working, I would say, phenomenally well. And it's been really fun to do this.
That's what I'm talking about, man. So I see you brought one of your artists with you today. You know what I'm saying? One of the people that's involved with you in these amazing events that you're putting on. So I want to bring him into the conversation. So first, I want to start off with his name, though. You know what I'm saying? Your artist name. So for the people that's really not familiar with you and your work and stuff like that, just break down how did you end up coming up with your artist name?
Okay, number one, first and foremost, how y'all doing? How y'all feeling? Nice to see y'all, right? Be
For
here.
sure.
It's a pleasure. But when it comes to my name, The third comes from my actual name. My full name is Theodore Jimmy Ruiz the third. I'm the third Theodore in my generation. And when I was younger, because I started making music in high school, sophomore year, I was coming up with the name. I'm thinking like, man, like what should I call myself? I don't want it to be corny. I don't want it to be nothing like little something. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want a little something. But so I just talked it over with my little brother. Shout out Daniel. I was like, man, what should my name be? I don't know. He's like, well, why don't you just try the third? And I'm like, but does that sound good? Like, does that sound like cool at least? You know, like in that mindset, you know, when we're younger. And yeah, that's really where it originated from. Just my name, my little brother giving me some help out, making me confident because I had no idea what I wanted to do with my name. But it also means more than that. You know, it's like me opening my eye, my quote unquote third eye with, you know, reality in the world. Cause, there was a lot of stuff I did when I was younger that, you know, there's a lot of stuff a lot of people do when they're younger that, you know, you could change, wish you could change. But I don't think life's about looking back. It's only about looking forward and moving forward. So when you open your eye to that element of, you know, never look back in the past, only change to improve, and look to the future and look in the moment and live in the moment, that's kind of like what that all means to me in terms of my name.
Okay. So break down to me a little bit about like how did music come to play? Like how did they come to play into your life? Because you know a lot of people like music is everywhere. You feel me? People been hearing music since they've been born. You know what I'm saying? But like when did it get to the point where it's like you wanted to make music though? You know what I'm saying? Because you know that's like a little transition.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I definitely can say like the first time I recall like falling in love with music was 2001. My dad would always play it, like Dre. He would always just play that every time. He'd play Eminem all the time on the CDs, and I'm like, dang, I'm really starting to fall in love with this like music. You know, I was little, I was a baby at the time, but then you know, my mom always listening to Chicago house music. She loved Chicago house music. Growing up listening to Mary J. So I fell in love with R&B during that era. And then like during middle school for me, I still have a friend named Ronald. He put me on with like EDM. So like with me, I just loved music from the start, but making music, when it came to making music and actually doing that, I would freestyle with my friend like all sophomore year of high school for me. I would freestyle with my friend in his backyard. You know, we'd just be chilling, bulling, cooling. And that's how it was for a minute. And he's like, man, Ted, you got some real talent, bro. Like, you need to take that to the studio. And I'm like, you know, because I was in football at the time and stuff like that. But because I was ignorant, I would miss school a lot. I wouldn't show up. So you guys already know the consequences of that. You're not able to play on teams. My GPA is going down. I'm not able to keep up with my sports if my GPA isn't up, right? So sophomore year, I actually had failed by being tardy on the last day of school. So I was really depressed during that time. It was a lot for me to handle. And the only thing that was there for me was music. You know, like, again, I was freestyling leading up to that moment. And it was very tough for me. And I felt like I was in this position where I really didn't have no one, even though everyone is around me and I do have them. But the fact that I had music for myself, like that sense of, dang, this is still there for me when nothing's there for me. And at the time, I was working a job at Jewel Osco, and someone I knew that worked there was out of nowhere one day, like in the depths of all this, was like, hey, I got a studio. You trying to go to a studio session? Because he made music too at the time. He's like, hey, you trying to go to a studio session? I'm like, what are the odds? What are the odds that like all the time I need this to happen for me, like everything's like falling into place for me. So I ended up going to the Jungle, which is located in the Music Garage. And I've been there ever since. I work there now with all my people that you see right here in the studio with us now. Going there for 8+ years now, right? That's just off the top of my head, but that's pretty long time. And just I actually even started with production before I even got into music, you know. So, but that's a whole nother story with my friend and his equipment, losing that because none of it was mine. But point is, I had to get into my artistry bag before I got into my production bag, because with growing up came those bigger finances and things to handle, like my machine, my beat pad, my microphone. How are me and my friends gonna afford this? You know what I mean? Because I run my own studio, Trifecta Studios. It's like a low key studio. And then I work out of the jungle as well. So shout out Cruz, shout out Lex Cruz for that too, man. That guy, he's my head engineer who I've known since I got into the studio. But yeah, basically to answer that question, back in 2016 for sure is definitely when it all locked in for me. And I'm like, this is my life now. Like, this is what I want to do. Not to prove a point to people. It was not for the money of it. You know, like I know a lot of the stuff artists do. Oh, I'm trying to make it big. I'm trying to make money. Yeah, it's about the money, bro, because that's how we live. That's how we survive day to day. That's how we get through our lives. But again, at the end of the day, for me, it's the love of the music. It's like taking sounds, taking frequencies, and really making other people smile. You know what I mean? Whether it's any type of song, bro, it's like putting that type of energy in the air and getting this group of people, that group of people to mess with that album or this project you got coming out. That's a different feeling for me. It feels like you're helping people, you know, because there's faces if I pursue this further, right? If I go crazy every day, like I say I'm going to do, people are going to hear my music that I never meet, that I never see, but I want to help them in any way I can, whether it's through their drunk nights and they're trying to make it through the night. So, hey, I need some music on, bro. Or, hey, I need to study. You know, this is a good song by this guy where I can just relax. You know, hey, I'm trying to tune into some hip hop. I go all fields. I don't really, I just like to call myself a recording artist. I know a lot, the genre thing, you know, you have to throw yourself in a genre nowadays where it's like, I'm a hip hop artist. I'm an EDM artist. I'm this, I'm that. I think for me, it's never been about that. It's just been about making good music and making stuff that like touches my soul, but also can really help other people out at the end of the day. But again, 2016 is definitely when that fell into place for me.
So we're sitting here and all this dope knowledge that you share in the third. And, man, once again, those of you that's tuning in, man, he's part of the Slasher Gang, man. Slasher Gang, if you're tuning in for the first time, man, he does multiple things that are dope. He's a producer, he's an artist, and he is an audio engineer, man. So, man, you broke down. That's so good, man. I'm definitely sitting over here. I know the people that's listening and viewing is saying, man, I want to hear some of that dope music from you. So you brought by this single called Crybaby. What was the inspiration behind that?
With Crybaby, so this is going to be, I've said this at like 5 Rave War shows already, that it's going to be dropping soon, but I'm taking my time with it. I'm letting it marinate. I'm getting the content ready for it, because I don't want to just poop out something. You know, it's got to be like a good push, because that's how we're going to get there for it. But this is going to be on an EP called Love Game EP. It's going to be 2 to 3 tracks. I'm still finalizing the details on all that. There's going to be plenty of content coming out for it. This was inspired by the first song I have, which I didn't bring with me today, is Fallout. And, you know, tune into Rave Wars if you want to hear more of that. I'm not going to spoil too much on that. But for Crybaby, that's the follow-up to that song. And this one was very EDM inspired for me, like how I was talking to you guys about. But I also kept that element of just like, I don't know, for me when I write or like when I do things, I'm always just making like, I always think hip hop. I always think like hard delivery, punchy delivery, smooth delivery, and with that R&B influence, obviously. But yeah, this one really is just something that I seen myself making as a kid. And when I made this one from production, shout out Alex, because he co-produced it. As a guy who's not really on the media, just a homie. But shout out him. When we produced this together, it was very like, I caught a rhythm, I caught a groove, and I just rolled with it. And then I actually wasn't even gonna write to this track, but my homie who's in the studio, Wendy, was screaming at me to write something to it. So I ended up writing this to it, and this is what we ended up with. And I also mixed this entire thing too.
Well, man, we got more to chop it up with you about in a second, man. So we got a double dose of dopeness in the building, man. We got, once again, producer, artist, audio engineer, the third, that we're going to jump into his song called Crybaby. And then we got the creator of Rave Wars Chicago, who does a lot for the artistry. Those of you that missed the first cap of the interview, definitely go back and check it out on at Fusion Radio 08. Link is in the bio, where you can definitely check that out. And so we're going to chop it up more with them in a second, man. Right now, it's the third with Crybaby with Fusion Radio with Brian and Keys.
Could be a crybaby. It ain't even my birthday, and I still wanna cry. I really can't help myself, I just don't know why. Every single day, all I do is cry, 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 cry. So can you cry with me? I just wanna try. It's okay to cry, to be a crybaby. I just wanna cry. I could be a crybaby. I can't explain why I'm crying like a child, no. I can't explain, no, I can't explain. And every time I'm with you, I can settle down. Cause you know my pain, yeah, you know my pain. And I'm a puzzle full of missing pieces, but you don't need them to complete me. Make sure I'm straight when I'm crying on the mic. When I'm crying on the beat, you gon' be by my side like it's okay to cry, to be a crybaby. I just wanna cry. I could be a crybaby. It's okay to cry, to be a crybaby. I just wanna cry. I could be a crybaby.
So I might be wrong for saying this, but I definitely got the message that it's okay to cry. So us fellas that sometimes be thinking that we can't cry,
Yes, sir.
we can cry in private.
In public, too. Just put your head
Some
up
of
over your head.
some of us ain't gonna cry in public though. Let's just face it. Some of us, you know what I'm saying, when we in our own confinements of the bathroom. Gonna say, the third said it's okay to cry.
Then you go open the door and be like, okay, y'all, it's okay.
It's Fusion Radio with Brian and Keys, man. Got to this really dope producer, artist, and audio engineer by the name of the third. And then we also got, man, the creator of Rave Wars Chicago. Those of you that's tuning in right now, man, it's very important that you definitely tap in with Ivan, man. Ivan's providing a lot of dope opportunities for you guys. So I want to recap with Ivan about the upcoming event that's coming up in 2025. And then for future events, like how do people get in tune, or what's the process as far as being a part of one of your events?
Yes. Okay. So our next event, which is our finale for our first circuit, which started in May. So our finale actually, in true showdown fashion, is going to take place in the Squared Circle. So our friends over at Northside Boxing actually lended us their space, and we're going to have this in a boxing gym. I know, very, very, very peculiar, but at the same time, you know what a better way to make it a spectacle and marry our love for, in case you missed it, you know, like I mentioned in there earlier, we married the idea of wrestling with music and created a spectacle of sorts. So what a way to marry that and bring it into the ring, to an actual ring, and we'll have these performers battle it out. Not actually boxing, but I mean, just in having them battle it out in terms of coming in and having their showmanship and whatnot. But our friends over at Northside Boxing will also have boxing demonstrations for it as intermissions during the performances. So check them out. They're great they're great people over in Evanston. I also box there too, so it's actually a pretty fun way to have that combination. And if you want to, so in order to answer your next question, which was how do we join? Well, you can just reach us out on Instagram, Rave Wars Chicago. Reach out to us, give us whatever you want to, whatever category you want to go into. Well, the only two categories we have are just rappers and DJs, but you just have to come reach out to us or find us on Instagram, Rave Wars Chicago, Rave Wars _ Chicago, actually. Or you can reach out to me at my Instagram as well, which would be Ivan _ Vancano as well. But next year, we got our circuit coming up, which is going to be starting up hopefully in February. So we're going to start off again with our qualifiers. And from there, we have quarterly events. So the quarterly events are actually our main events. So you'll start off with our qualifiers, which will begin in, I believe it'll be in February, close to Valentine's Day, which will be, little spoiler here, it'll be called Heartbreak. That next show is going to be called Heartbreak. You know, for out there, my lover boys out there, it's okay to cry, I suppose. But so that's as much as information I can give out. We still have to flesh out a bunch of things, especially with venues and whatnot. That's going to take a hot minute. But like as I said, just reach out to Rave Wars Chicago, and we can definitely set up something so you can come in and perform.
I ain't gonna lie. If it turned out the way I thought about it in my head, as far as like how you describe how you want to do like the final event with the boxing and all that type of stuff, that's cold. Low key, cause like it's different. You know what I'm saying? That's like something that brings a different dynamic to your. You feel me? What you trying to do? You feel me? What the whole rave was like, cause no one's doing that out here. You know what I'm saying? I don't see anybody in general doing like that. Like having artists get in the middle of a ring, actually battling with their music though. You know what I'm saying? Like that's low key cold. Like I put that in the same. Like it put me in the mind state of like. What was that Swiss Beats and then was doing a couple years ago? You know exactly what I'm talking about. I can't think of the name right now though. When they had the two artists going up there battling and stuff like that on stage, it put me in the mind state of that. So that's what's up though. So like, I know what Rage was is now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like, what do you see Rage was in like the next couple of years though? Like, what is it like? Where are you really trying to go? Or is it like, is it changing in time? Or is it like you already have some type of plan that you already have in your head?
Well, at the moment, it's just been I think I mentioned this already. It's been my brother and I who have just produced everything, set up meetings. I mean, we've done things that are like 2 a.m. We've driven over to venues and requested to at least get ourselves a spot in the upcoming year. And most of the time, they already have everything booked out for the rest of the year. So what we want to do essentially is kind of grow Rave Wars into more than just my brother and I. I guess this is also a way to reach out to different artists, videographers, producers, anyone who is willing to be a part of a passion project. Because this thing has just been a two-man job and can get a little difficult sometimes. We have, I'm working a 9 to 5, and so is my brother. So most of the time we're kind of working hours trying to get things going. There are times where like we've gone down to the wire where we print out posters like the day before, and we're like, oh shoot, we ran out of ink. We gotta order it on Amazon real quick. Can we get a quick 1-day shipping or something like that? But so essentially, right now, for now at least, we want to work with more artists, not just producers like Theo, but also videographers, graphic designers themselves. I think most recently we did in one of our previous Rave Wars, we had a live body paint. So we had an artist come in and do a design on someone's body, and it was pretty incredible too. So we want Rave Wars to be more than just music, but rather a show, a spectacle of sorts. So when you come to Rave Wars, it's not just your regular bar where you show up and all you're doing is just sitting and chilling, seeing if you can hit on some girl or something like that. But it's an immersive experience. You come in, you look at new artists. What does Chicago bring in to the table? And you see the artists that are coming through. We had such incredible artists come through this past year, like the likes of Young Swank Sinatra. We had Emo 800, The Worst Guys, and of course, most notably, Theo, who has proven to be quite a formidable producer, and it's phenomenal to see the talent that comes through this show. Yeah, that's pretty much what we're looking to do. Essentially, grow, and look for potential investors.
Yes,
looking to see if we can get some people to help us out. You know, we want this to grow. We really want this to become a big community for Chicago.
That's what I'm talking about, man. I'm always with the positives, man. Always with the going and stuff like that, man. So you definitely got our support here at Fusion Radio, man. So just to turn back to my boy, the third. What are certain things that we should be expecting from you, like musically, you feel me, in these next couple of months? Like, is it certain projects, certain singles, certain videos, like certain performances, you feel me, or just different things what Rage was? Like, what certain things that we should be expecting from you in these next upcoming months?
Yeah, so coming up, I'm about to spit out a bunch of stuff in 2025. Like, it's going to be, hopefully this is my true stepping stone to getting the eye on me, if that makes sense, you know. But I'm working with producer Tory Bridges in the building too as well. I've got collabs with Wendy over here in the building as well. Ramsky, videographer, photographer. So I live with him, so we're always shooting stuff, you know, bro. So it's always a move. But to start from the top, like I said, with Crybaby and Fallout, how I talked about earlier, those songs are both going to have music videos. Those EPs, that EP is coming out, Love Game EP, that will be dropping soon. You can find that at The Third on Spotify and everywhere else. If you need me on Instagram, _real3rd. Got that out the way. But, yeah, and then I actually shot something at Rave Wars for a single. So for the third event, I believe it was, we had at Stylish Sin, where the clothing store they were talking about earlier. We had shot basically a live performance video, and I was gonna drop it as like a music video, but I was like, no, I want a music video. Like, I want that music video feel, and then I want this to be a live video feel. So I'm gonna do two separate things for that. But that's gonna be a single that's coming out too. That ain't even out yet. So there's 4 songs right there. And then, like I mentioned, Tory Bridges, I got a whole project coming out with him, guaranteed 12 plus songs on that already. There's no name for the project yet. I'm like halfway through on the recording and writing part. But man, when I tell you I got stuff cooking, it's cooking. And we already got some content out called No Longer Human, featuring me and Wendy. Anything I do with Tory Bridges, I do feature me, because he's the producer. He is the curator of this. I'm just trying my best to lay it out on the track for him. I'm trying to put my emotion in his shoes and then redo it like that. But yeah, stuff from a lot of stuff from that producer specifically on the way. I know I want to produce my own stuff very soon. Right now I'm going to be producing for Wendy a lot more. That's on the way. But in terms of videos and stuff, definitely watch out for the EP. That's coming very, very soon, sooner than a lot of other stuff. And then be ready for that project and the single coming out as well. And a lot of this stuff, like why I'm here today and why I decided to work with Rave Wars, I worked with a lot of people in the past. I know this is a little sidetracked, but I've worked with a lot of people in the past. I've made multiple projects, 2 albums specifically, and they essentially had to get scrapped because I'm over here pursuing this, trying to become something in the music business. But a lot of people that I have worked with stopped and they quit. And from being younger to right now, I'm still young. I'm 24 now. But for me, being the individual I am, that was a really big like setback for me because it happened 2 times. I worked with about 6 guys before. We were all making music, and a lot of them really just fell off on that. And it's okay. People got lives. People got other things to do, other aspirations and goals and dreams. You know, I have no issue with that, but I had to figure it out, you know? And then I had another project that's out on all platforms right now. It's called Science, like a science project, because it's just a bunch of random beats that that was me really getting into my sound a lot more than the older stuff that I had, because I was just locked in. Literally every day locked in, sending someone who invested into the project, sending him mix 1, mix 2, mix 3, mix 4, right? So a lot of that stuff, essentially though, it went to waste. And that's why all this music now and all this stuff that I haven't dropped is being saved because I want it to be good. And this is going to be just me. This is going to be the third, not featuring this person, featuring that person, featuring this person. Yes, me featuring on Tory Bridges projects, but because I respect his craft and I want his name to be known as a producer, just like Metro Boomin. You know, I mean, he's a whole different boat compared to him because Metro Boomin, trap, etc. And then you got my boy Tory Bridges on old school boom bap hip hop type beats, and he'll do anything really as long as you just sit there and like, hey, this is what I'm trying to do. He'll do it, and he'll be honest with you. I don't like this. I do like this. You know, my circle and the people that I work with are definitely. We all have stuff planned. So if you're not seeing the stuff I'm doing, if you look at their socials and just see them, I'm helping with that. I do video editing as well, but it's not something I put on the table. If an artist needs it in Chicago, because I do run a production team, that's what Trifecta is. I just want to help local artists get their feet off the ground when it comes to this music stuff. So I'm really putting on, like how you guys said, producer / artist / engineer. I'm / more than that, but I try to manage it all because I like to help people, and I feel selfish when I don't achieve that. But at the same time, like when I'm loading up all these new songs coming and all these new videos, I'm taking my time. That moment is now for me. That moment is now. So plenty of stuff coming in 2025, early 2025.
That's what I'm talking about, man. So this was a great conversation. We talked about a lot of great things today, you know what I'm saying? And I'm definitely grateful for y'all being able to come down here, sharing the bass and the energy, you feel me, that we have here in the studio, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people don't even know, but today was our last official show for the year, you know what I'm saying?
Congratulations.
So, you feel me? Y'all helped us round out the year, you know what I'm saying? So, before we do get up out of here, though, y'all got to get the people y'all social media so they can be in tune with your music and they can be in tune with you for Rave Wars.
Okay, go ahead, Ivan. You first.
Yeah, go. Okay. So for Rave Wars Chicago, follow us on Instagram, Rave Wars _Chicago. And that's the same thing for TikTok as well, if you're a TikToker out here. And you can go ahead and also follow our media company. It's Mask Media, M.A.S.C. _media. That's the media company that is the umbrella for Rave Wars. Go ahead.
For me, you could follow me on Instagram or anywhere else that I am on. I'm not gonna, you find it out yourself. If you want to show some love, go find out yourself. The _real 3RD on Instagram though. That's what I use mainly. But anywhere else, Spotify, etc. The number 3 RD. If you look that up, and you can also go follow Trifecta _HQ, which is basically like a little headquarters page for all of the other side stuff that I do and I said I had to do, and all the other stuff that's coming up with other artists besides myself.
That's what I'm talking about, man. So, like I said, I appreciate y'all coming down here, basking in this energy, man, making this day even better than it already was. And
Appreciate y'all.
you know what I'm saying? We finna go ahead and sign out of Fusion Radio for this year, 2024, and we welcome all the great things that's gonna happen in 2025, man. So thank y'all to the people that's watching us, supporting us, and we gonna get up with y'all next year, man. Love and peace.
Love.